Welcome to episode 219 of the Watchin It Podcast. On today's show, Donnell returns to the place it all began. Robert talks about assassins. And on this week's mid-season finale of The Boys, Squidward.
Yes.
The Deep's gonna fall in love.
I mean, he doesn't have Sage anymore, and lost last Ambrosia, so maybe.
So where did it all begin, Donnell?
Where do you think it all began, Robert?
I know.
Doom Patrol.
Oh, Doom Patrol.
Yes.
Okay.
I was on the YouTube, and I saw a video that was titled "The Worst Superhero Show You Haven't Seen."
Oh, lies.
And so I clicked on it, and because I was like, also the thumbnail had Doom Patrol in it, so that's another reason I clicked on it. I was like, whoa, we gotta talk. So the maker of this video was actually a big fan of Doom Patrol, and by worst superhero show, he meant worst as in team.
Gotcha.
Doom Patrol's a terrible superhero team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But no, the guy was a huge fan of it. Watching the video, brought up some nostalgia. Brought up little man. I'm glad it's done because things don't need to go on forever. But I do miss the Doom Patrol. I miss this show. So I went back.
That last season wasn't too great.
The last season was not. It did not end as strong as it began. But that was definitely, as you said many times, Robert. Sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination. And there was a lot of good in that journey. And I didn't go back and watch everything, but I watched a couple select episodes, of course.
You don't have time for this, Donnell. You need to be watching Amadeus. You gotta get started on Supernatural. You don't have time to go and rewatch Doom Patrol.
I didn't rewatch all of it. I just watched a couple of select episodes. Crap. No, I can't remember the Sex Ghost.
Sex Police.
Sex Police.
Sex Men. There we go.
Sex Men. Watched that. I watched. I can't. I should have wrote them down, but I just watched a couple select episodes. I watched the very beginning also, just to relive how it all started. But yeah, watched Doom Patrol. It still holds up. Like I said, I do agree. It did not end as strong as it began, but it was still a great show.
Boy, I'm rewatching a show that holds up for sure. Fringe.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so good. Every time I rewatch it, I'm like, man, I forgot how good this is.
Yeah.
Like so all tied together.
Fringe is like a great show, especially for when it came out.
Yeah. I need to be rewatching Snowpiercer, getting ready for
that.
I did rewatch The Old Man recently.
Nice.
So I'm prepped for that.
Old Man season 2.
Tulsa King's coming. Oh, there's so much good stuff. Yeah.
And then also just want to do a quick shout out for our YouTube video that people to check out. So I talked about this before. There's a creator called Basically Homeless. And he basically does weird computer builds, like really weird, not just like, oh, here's a strange. Like he built a gasoline powered computer before, and he built a one that was horse powered that he had to drag behind a horse. So he was in a field while we were using it. But anyways, his most recent build was to make a robot for assassinating wasps. And it's his longest video ever at 30 minutes. He doesn't make really long videos, but still, longest video ever at 30 minutes, and also his most expensive video. And it's quite an interesting one, and it's a pretty good one. I really enjoyed it, so I just want to recommend to everybody, go if you like interesting computer stuff, go check out Basically Homeless. And that's what I got. Robert, assassinations, huh?
Yeah. So I'm gonna
not The Boys.
Not The Boys. I watched new season of Hit Monkey.
Nice. I have not watched it.
It is fantastic.
Well, that's what I was hoping to hear.
It is just as good as the first season.
Yes.
I forgot how hard the music goes in that show. Just no pacing lost.
Yeah.
Just gets right into it. Wonderfully animated.
Nice.
Well voiced and everything. Jason Sudeikis being such an interesting character and all that. They pick up. They're in New York, and it's more story driven. I feel than the previous season, like more on rails. Than the previous season. Not as much assassination as I would hope. And whatnot, but just super fun. Super fun.
Yeah,
go watch if you haven't seen season 1 of Hit Monkey. You should definitely watch it, and then check out season 2 as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Really so glad we got a season 2.
But since we're talking about Hit Monkey, I'm gonna do an anime. Only one today.
Yeah, yeah.
The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat.
I remember you showing me a little bit of this one.
I love it. I've watched it 3 times, to be honest with you.
Is this a complete or is
No, it is. There is more story to tell.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Lots more story to tell, definitely. 1 season.
Yeah,
But a fantastic season that it is. I will say, word of warning, it is mature minus. There is some nudity and adult themes for sure.
Okay.
Not something for the kids.
Right.
For sure. Definitely some things in it that are questionable and whatnot. It's not hentai.
Yeah.
By any means, but definitely a mature minus feel to it.
Yeah.
It is about an assassin. He's like, I don't know, maybe in his like 60s or something. He's on his final job, whatnot. He completes it, and they're like, okay, enjoy your retirement and all that stuff, and then they take him out.
Yep.
And, just like you do, when the assassin's job is done, you assassinate the assassin. Yeah.
He knows too much. You can't just let him walk away.
So anyway, he dies, and a goddess of another world pulls his soul up from the ether and says, hey, I need you to go assassinate the hero of this world. Kind of a flip on it. Normally it's like, oh, you're getting reincarnated to be the hero. The goddess is like, well, the hero's gonna kill the demon lord, the only one that can do it. But then something's gonna happen, and they're gonna destroy the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to go and be reincarnated there. I'm gonna let you pick your skills, and I need you to like be an assassin again and go and kill the hero after they kill the demon lord.
Yeah, that's what I like actually, is that it was a specific, like, he can't just pop into the world and kill the hero. Like he has to wait for the hero to do what the hero has to do, and then kill him afterwards.
But it's just really well done. He starts out as a baby, and which is uncommon in the reincarnation stuff, and it just follows him as he's born into a family of assassins.
Convenient.
And convenient. Well, I mean, the goddess chose to send him to reincarnate him into the family of assassins and whatnot, and he starts to put together like a group of ladies. He's kind of got a harem thing going on.
As you do.
He learns magic, but he's got like real world knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the skills he picks is that instead of just getting all the standard spells, he can create his own.
Yeah.
So he creates like artillery and guns and all sorts of really crazy weapons and whatnot that he can use for his assassinations, and just trying to figure out how to take down the hero when it comes time. And it's just really well done. But again, mature minus themes and stuff like that might disturb some people.
Yeah.
So just go into it knowing that, like I said, don't put it in front of the kids. And stuff. All right.
No, definitely unique anime that it was pretty engaging what you showed me. So
yeah, I'm very excited for season 2. I've been reading the manga as well. I got caught up on that. Unfortunately, the manga isn't finished. But yeah.
Nice.
When in the first season, you get at the very end, you get to introduce to who the hero is.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really. That's going to be like a season 2 thing. And in the manga, like when you figure out like the hero is like, oh yeah, this is going to be crazy. Like because he basically meets the hero and they do like a mock battle for reasons.
Yeah. And
just gets trounced.
Yeah.
Just like he's been training his whole life to kill this person, and it's just like he's like 1/2 of 1% the strength needed to be able to take this person out. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right, Robert. Well, I hesitate to say this,
I know.
but we have a little spare time.
I don't know why I thought that we were going to use up the time for this segment with just a little bit that I was bringing to the table.
Like, you got some more anime, but of course I'll
pull another arrow from the quiver. This is kind of a stupid one. I wouldn't say this is a must watch. It's not even really that great, but it is funny. And this is one I kind of watched more early on in this as I started to get into anime again.
Your anime journey.
Yeah. Saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement.
Okay.
This is about a kind of business lady who gets the ability. She doesn't like die and reincarnate or anything, but she gets the ability to teleport to another world.
Okay.
And I think she can just teleport around too. She's basically just got teleportation, but she figures out that there's another world she can teleport to. And she realizes very quickly, like, wait a minute, this is the other world's like very agrarian, I guess. It's got towns and stuff, but it's more medieval times.
Yeah.
You know? And she's like, hold up, I can bring things with me. I need to go get some items from my world, my advanced society, and bring them over here and start a store. Of course, naturally, one of the first things is like guns. So she brings over guns for sure. Tasers and all this stuff. They actually think she's like some kind of like lightning goddess because she tases people. Yeah. Sometimes. And they're just like, oh, don't mess with her. And stuff like that. But yeah, it's funny because she starts a store in like the capital. And she brings all the stuff, but like she grabs like tools and stuff. It's really weird, the items that she chooses to pick at first. And it's very interesting how she misjudges what items to bring. So for she's like, oh, I'm gonna bring a fish scaler. Yeah. Like a thing for descaling fish. Right. And like that's gonna be very helpful to the people, in this they don't have this tool. Right, not right. And then like somebody walks into the store and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And it's like a fish scaler, and they're like, "Why?" And she's like, "For descaling fish." I'm like, "Lady, we're in the middle of the country. Yeah. We're 500 miles away from the ocean. Fish don't come here. Yeah, because they don't have refrigeration and stuff like that. So it's just like, hey, it would like fish are for the kings because you have to like you have to get ice from the mountain. Yeah, and you got to get a big enough block of ice." And so you've got to like carry this giant block of ice 500 miles with the fish. So that way the fish isn't poisoned. And it's just very funny. Yeah. And of course, like she breaks out like some instant meals and that changes everything. Everybody freaks the hell out. She ends up doing like crazy things where she's like doing something for like a ball or something, and she's bringing like projectors and computers into the mix and stuff, and everybody's freaking the hell out. They're like, what is going on? Because she does basically like a high-end, modern world production, value on a stage where in this medieval times and stuff. She puts together like she hires like a whole army of like mercenaries from the modern world and teleports them to fight dragons. It's really stupid. Yeah, but it's really fun and interesting because she's just like, okay, I need to make like $80,000 in money in both worlds so that way I can just retire. Yeah, she's like, okay, let me capitalize on this, and it goes interesting directions. And
only 80,000. I feel like you need more.
Oh, 80,000 gold.
Oh, gold. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
80,000 gold coins. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's different when you bring that to our.
She does the math. She figures it out. She's like, okay, that's gonna be enough for me to retire in both worlds, and because she's like, I can travel between the two, whatnot. I think there's definitely more interesting uses I would do with that power. Oh yeah, but it's funny to see. It's very interesting because the big thing about it is that she has like a plan, but then she changes that plan because she realizes like. She morphs with the things, right? And that's not usually how it goes in anime. They have a plan and they just brute force it. Yeah. Whereas she's like, okay, I need to change gears. Like the plan I had is not going to work because I'm stupid and the society is so different than the one I came from. So anyway. Yeah. Hey. Saving 80,000 gold so I can retire in another world.
Said, it's not a must watch, but I mean, if you're just looking for a good time, sounds fun. Sounds like a good time.
In no way would I be like, this is something anyone has to watch. Yeah. It's just if you really like anime, this is kind of a twist on the other world stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna take a break there. When we come back, we're gonna talk about season finale of The Boys.
Yes, we are.
All right, let's talk about the season finale of The Boys. Did not feel like a season finale.
Oh, no.
Felt like a mid-season finale.
Yeah, this is...
Definitely prep for the next season.
I think we're prepped for Gen V.
Maybe.
So, my feeling from this, especially with just how things wrap with, Gen V people being involved, spoiler, that season 2 of Gen V is just going to be a continuation of this boys. Like we're probably not going to get to see what's just like we didn't get to see what's going on with Gen V characters during this season 2 of Boys. We're probably not going to see what's going on with the boys, but I really feel like season 2 might be a little bit of what's going on with Gen V characters during season 4, and then a little bit continuation after season 4. And I really feel like season 5 of the boys. I also feel like that means Gen V probably isn't getting a season 3 because I really feel like season 5 of the boys is just going to bring the 2 series together. And
interesting.
To wrap things up. Yeah. Is this the way I'm feeling with how much, like I said, that even though they only showed up like twice, maybe 3 times this season, how much involved 2 of the characters from G and V are in Homelander's plan. I'm like, there's no way.
But they're like the villains. Of Gen V.
Yeah.
Sort of. I don't know. Gen V is weird.
Gen V is weird.
Yeah.
But no,
but like the good guys are like locked in a room with no doors.
But I'm just saying those 2 characters are very much a part of Homelander's plan. Where I'm like, okay, well, Gen V season 2, they might interact, but I can't see them wrapping up their story arc. So I feel like
surprising that Homelander would use the mind controlling girl.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about But first, this was an amazing episode.
Yes.
This was really good.
Fantastic.
I want to say everybody did an amazing acting job in this.
Mm-hmm.
Really showed their range. Like the actor that plays Joe. I was like midway through that, so I was like, damn, he's a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really good. And then Erin Moriarty, is that really her name? The lady who plays Annie January, plays Starlight.
Mm-hmm.
Her last name is Moriarty.
I guess I'm not looking at it, but I've seen it before.
Moriaty.
Yeah.
That's Moriarty. That's crazy.
Hey, that's a good last name.
What a last name! I wonder if that's her real last name or if that's a stage name. And what a pick either way.
I mean, when you click on her thing, it just says Erin Elaire Moriarty, which usually if they have a different name, they usually still put it on there. I think that's her name. I think that's what she was born with.
Interesting. Anyway, starts out with they've canceled the A Train movie. I thought this was very topical and funny that they're just like, even though it was finished, they canceled the movie.
It's better.
I'm surprised they didn't show his statue being taken down all over the bot headquarters or something.
I mean, it looks like they haven't officially announced that he was the traitor. Or outed him. Maybe just for because I mean it probably is really bad optics to have one of your highest members turn out to be the traitor, like just to be like, yeah, A-Train was the traitor all along. It's like, dude, he was like, I mean, not that there's a line of power, but if we're looking at it, I'd probably say probably goes at the time it probably went Homelander, Sage, and then A-Train. He was number 3 in the power line, and he was it definitely. Might be an optics thing.
I'm surprised we didn't get A-Train at all in this episode.
No.
I thought we were gonna see his death scene or something where he saved Huey or something like that.
I didn't think A-Train was gonna die in season 4. I still think he's gonna die, but I think it's definitely gonna be a season
There was an
5
interesting
thing.
I saw an interesting discussion that he's gonna live and Huey's gonna sacrifice himself for A-Train. That would be
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, so because I've recently went over the finale of the Boys comic, which is going to be nothing like the show.
Yeah.
This isn't with anime and read ahead in manga. It's no, this show is definitely a different beast than the comic. It's like Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, 2 different entities, and it's just so many different things, or just how things ended in the comic that can't happen or won't happen, but also there's still some parallels that might happen, especially with Butcher. That will be interesting.
Yeah. So this whole episode centered around January 6th, and I have a problem with the mechanics of that, because they're like, oh, as soon as January 6th is when they confirm the votes.
They're not.
They don't.
The previous administration is still running things.
For another 3 weeks or something. They made it sound like as soon as that confirmation happens, then it's over.
I mean.
You don't get sworn in for till the 29th or something.
But still, I think this is messed up topic to be talking about right now. But I feel like still, if you have a president and VP elect that are brought into office, and in the period of time after January 6th, if the VP was assassinated, I feel like still once the previous administration was up, I feel like their VP would become the president.
Oh, it's locked in.
Yeah.
No, it's locked in. But the timeline didn't work for me in my head, the way that they did it. Definitely very like kind of a racy episode in that respect. They put a warning at the beginning that
and it's one of those things
hastily put together a warning.
Like I brought up before, and like I said, I don't believe it, but like how the creator was like, the parallels between real life and this. It's actually just more of a coincidence. I wasn't actually planning it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't believe that. But I will say this one was not planned.
The writer is deep state.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way this one could have been planned because, like, literally. But yeah, it's crazy how things just played out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we get to see the canceling of the show, and we kind of zoom out to people watch TV. And we get to Huey and the Shifter.
Yep.
Shifter Annie. And she is dressed up and asking Huey to marry her. And I am just like, it's fucked up.
This Shifter is just playing around.
Fucked up. But also, I mean, a little bit later, we see her talk with Annie, and she clearly is like, I'm a sociopath. And I'm like, yeah, one thing I've said a lot is like, the human race, like if we have always had in, comics and stuff, people with powers to read people's minds. And I'm like, you would be the most fucked up individual if you could go into other people's minds. Because at the end of the day, there are times where I don't like being in my own head. I don't need anybody else's shit going. I don't need to know what's going on in Robert's head. Knowing Robert is enough.
I mean, that's an interesting thing because what was the not Starlight, Stargirl.
Yeah.
Right? They had the mind reader guy, and he was trying to tell his son, like, once this power comes into play and you start reading people's minds, you're going to realize that everyone is bad.
Yeah, everybody sucks.
Everyone is evil and thinks just terrible thoughts.
Yeah.
And when you can't turn that off, it's just the worst. And that's a very common theme for, like, the mind reader character. Yeah, the Shifter is very odd or interesting. Because I like that when it's taught, we don't know if it's originally a guy or a girl.
No, we have no. It doesn't know. It said like she was like I can't remember who I am. I'm just like that's fucked up.
Yeah, because you're. It's not just that.
I mean, I kind of wonder about that. Because the only thing I wonder is, so we get to see with the Shifter. So, like I said, Huey and her, they get proposed, they have some sex, and then while they're in bed,
apparently a lot of sex.
Yeah, a lot of sex. Apparently,
a lot of weird sex.
It's been 10 days. Annie confirms that she was kept for 10 days. But anyways, the Shifter, her skin starts to like slough off.
Yeah.
Like, afterwards, and she has to like recharge with her victim. So I'm like, well, what happens if you don't recharge? Don't you like? I figured she like default back to her normal state?
That I was wondering that as well.
Or maybe she just loses all her skin and she's just like a flesh monster.
I think she just got to change into something every now and then, or else you're screwed. Yeah,
interesting.
But yeah, it's not just it also answers the question because of like, okay, how is she imitating Stargirl Starlight so easily? And that's because not only when she shifts, when it doesn't just like read some memories, all memories.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would completely lose.
You would lose yourself.
Who you are, and how many people have they shifted into?
I mean, she said the first time she shifted was when she was in school,
preschool,
elementary school.
Preschool.
Okay,
yeah,
preschool. So my thing, I'm like, oh, if you've been doing this since that, and this person has got to be at least in their mid-20s, if not older. I mean, there's no way to even know how old this person is, but I'm just saying, just by the way they talk and stuff. But that's the thing is, even actually, they who knows? Like, because I think she could still just be a preschooler, but when you just keep in more and more people's knowledge, who knows?
I mean, that power is so crazy, right? Because and just one touch and you get everyone's memories. I mean, preschooler, you do the teacher, all of a sudden you know everything the teacher knows. You don't need to go to school no more.
You're done. Yeah.
There's like just walk into a military base and touch a soldier. And it's like boom, launch codes.
Yeah.
Or something, right?
Besides the shape shifting ability or the shifting, just the knowledge you could be a top spy. You don't even have to shift into the person. Just go to a fancy gala and touch the top general's arm.
I'm assuming that
you're selling military secrets to everybody.
I'm assuming that they would have to shift into them to get the memories.
I mean,
at first,
it takes time for her to shift, and I imagine because we saw in the previous episode when she breaks out of the thing, she's running down the hall, she bumps into that woman, and her eyes do the flashy thing, which I kind of feel like that's her getting the person's memories right then. But she doesn't get to fully transform until like 2 minutes later running down the hall after she ripped off all her skin.
Yeah.
And so my thought is like, no, she gets the knowledge as soon as she touches them. And if she doesn't start ripping off her skin to get to the new skin underneath, then she doesn't become that person. So my thought is like, no, I don't think you got to shift to get the powers. I think it's just touching.
Speaking of skin ripping off, that scene with Starlight when she's breaking out of the cup.
We have seen so much fucked up stuff in the show, but still, that was just...
We watched this together, and we were both squirming the whole time.
I was like, Starlight, where are your powers, girl? Just use some light beams and break out. This is not the way.
Yeah, that hand, that
you are not Kimiko. It's not just going to heal up.
That was rough. Woo! There's a bunch of stuff with Butcher in the hospital.
Yeah.
Talking with Joe, talking with Grace. Ryan comes to visit after
he's basically like on his deathbed.
Yeah.
You know, he calls Huey and basically gives like his last like, hey, I'm out.
Yeah.
I need you to go see a topless barbecue joint for me and my brother, but let the guys know I'm done. And basically is done with the boys. Basically it's over, and like I said, Grace shows up, and we don't know at the time that it is, but they basically enact a plan to get Ryan on their side. At first I thought it was just to get Ryan to safety, because that was the big thing. But as this episode progresses, we'll just finish up Butcher's story, or until Butcher joins the rest of the boys, but we'll finish up Butcher's hospital storyline. As the story progresses and things start to escalate with everything that's going on in it, Grace decides it's time to pull the trigger and reveal the real plan, which is they want to start training Ryan to fight Homelander. And while I agree that Ryan could be a good asset to defeat his father, there was no way in hell the way she did it was going to work. Yeah. No way. Like, just to start dropping, like, honestly, I think they might have even had a chance, because Grace just starts dropping on Ryan all the terrible stuff his dad's done.
Yeah.
Killing the assassination on the attempt on the president, killing a bunch of people on a plane, all the terrible stuff he's done, and that the fact that his mother was raped by his dad. It wasn't consensual. Just telling him all this stuff. And I'm like, and Ryan even says, I need to go. And he's like, I'll come back, but I need to go. And I'm like, honestly, let the boy go.
Let him take a walk.
A walk. It sounds like he's not flying back to dad and stuff, but Grace won't let it happen. I'm just like, there's no way, there's only one way this ends. I was like, and it ends exactly as, because one is he starts telling him the plan, like, this room is this is specifically for keeping you trapped. I'm like, don't tell him that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I can instantly flood this wall, fall asleep. Like, stop telling him the plan, woman.
Well, also,
for a top level CIA agent.
Yeah, she needed to bring evidence too.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, we have video. I'm like, show him the video. Don't tell him the dad's did these things. Just show the video of him doing the thing.
Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, just so many things. And I'm like, okay, Grace, your plan is that if Ryan doesn't willingly decide to be, your Homelander killer, you're going to knock him out and take him hostage. And I'm just like, how does that not push him farther closer to his father? Like, his father told him all about how he was treated as a kid and kept hostage and basically tortured. And now you're going to do the exact same thing, and he's going to see it as maybe my father is bad, but maybe he's that way for a reason. Like, look at what you're doing to me. So I was like, this plan doesn't work. And then the final thing I have to say is, for a top level CIA operative, like, her plan was to push the button before Ryan got to her. I'm like, no. Why is there not a guy out? Like, it was the hospital room, another room, and then Ryan leaves. And I'm like, why is the button not, like, it shouldn't be within your reach. There should be a guy outside of both rooms who's watching, and as soon as Ryan goes to attack Mallory, he's like, hit the button. Like,
the button should have been hit as soon as Ryan walked in the room.
Yeah. Just a dumb plan, but ultimately Mallory ends up dying, which Ryan seems a little shocked by it. Mallory was important to him, but also she kind of betrayed him at the end there, so I definitely think it doesn't affect him as much as it would. And also,
no remorse.
Yeah.
On
also,
the killing,
Butcher also was part of that betrayal, which I really think damaged things for Ryan and for Butcher, which we'll talk about more with Butcher once we get caught up with him later on. But yeah, just a terrible plan. Like, I was like, this is not good. I know she felt pressured to tell him sooner, but I'm like, it was never going to work. Like you said, let the kid go take a walk and clear his mind and think things through. He'll come back. Maybe we can work on things, but any other thing, it was just dumb. So,
We're all over the place. Where are we at?
I was going to pick up back with everybody getting ready for the assassination attempt.
Yep.
One of the things that annoyed me is how casual everybody was.
Yeah.
Like the vice president's going to assassinate the president today. As soon as the election's done, Huey and Annie are just at home enjoying getting engaged in some sex and some coffee. And I'm just like, no, everybody we're all hands on deck. Yeah. We're all in the place. We're going over every bit of evidence. We're looking for every avenue of attack, every avenue of defense. The fact that they're just chilling at home. And yeah, sure, Kimiko, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie are at the base, but Frenchie's the only one working. He's just trying to, and everybody else is sitting around watching TV. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I'd
here,
be so
folks?
pissed if I was Frenchie. They're like really like going hard on him. Like, you got to get this virus, and he's like stressed out about it and stuff. And they're just chilling.
Everybody's just chilling. Yeah. I was just like, how are you this casual?
I'm like, help.
I'm like, yeah, help. Be preparing other options because just in case Frenchie can't pull it off. I was just annoyed for all of them. But they're everyone's just kind of chilling, waiting for it to happen. But then Homelander decides, nah. We ain't waiting anymore.
Yeah.
And he's on TV with Firecracker. I was going to say Firestarter. Yeah. But Firecracker and Newman for what's supposed to be, I guess, be a debate of some sort. You know, Newman, the anti-soup agenda, and then and Homelander. And he ain't having it. He's just like, why don't we just tell everybody who you are, Newman, what's going on. And he outs her. I love the way he outs her.
Yeah, she's talking and he just like shuts her up with a laser.
Yeah,
beam.
just shoots her with a laser. The fact that she's not dead is like, well, can't really.
I'm surprised
argue.
it didn't do any damage.
Yeah,
I know she's
took damage from it. I mean, she enjoyed it, but still took damage from it. Like, yeah, it is very weird. I mean, I guess like I said, it's all based on how durable, and I guess Newman is more durable than they thought.
Yeah,
because Homelander and Soldier Boy hit each other with lasers and they were fine. So I guess Newman's on that level of durability. Yeah, interestingly enough.
Shapeshifter too, oddly.
Yeah.
I was surprised to find that they were bulletproof as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, not bulletproof. The bullets did go through her, but she just seemed to not.
Oh, I thought they were bouncing off.
No, because he kept getting like blood spots wherever.
No, they were like char marks where the bullets hit.
Oh,
but no, none of them penetrated the skin. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, Shapeshifter. Yeah, different levels of durability. We're finding out. Like Kimiko can easily be stabbed, cut, and all that stuff, but she regenerates.
Yeah,
which is very nice.
So shortly after Vic Newman is outed, she mentions the Homelander like, hey, like now you're gonna have to imprison half the world.
Yeah,
and half of Vought.
Half of Vought.
And he's like, crap. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Damn.
And he goes to Ashley. Poor Ashley.
Yeah.
Poor Ashley.
Poor Ashley.
What an odd character. She's the Ruth of this series for sure.
We didn't get to see her in soup.
No, we do not know what her. I think she just exploded. But maybe not. No. She's gonna turn into something horrible.
Yeah,
she was morphing.
That's what I was about to say. It's like that was my feelings. Like I don't think she's gonna explode, but she's not gonna be a soup who would be part of the Seven. Yeah. Like her powers are gonna be definitely in the whoa category.
But yeah, he tells Ashley, put together a list of all the people who could hurt us,
harm us,
and has compromat on us, and immediately just like the Deep, I'm like. Yeah, Ashley would be number one on the hit list.
Top of the list. Yeah. There is no one who should be more killed than Ashley. And I wonder if she knew, because her and other Ashley kind of have a little conversation. And I feel like she was kind of hinting like, yeah, I would be top that list. And then when she gets kicked out of the room when they're going over the list, which was lucky for her because they would have just killed her there. I think she knew like, oh, I'm screwed.
Ashley isn't going to put her own name on the list.
Yeah, but she was thinking, oh, maybe they might still consider me an asset. But when she gets kicked out of the room, she was like, oh, this is going to go south.
I do love when Noir is like, it's like, who is that? It's like, this is Ashley.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I killed Ashley.
We didn't have a last name.
No, this is other Ashley. He's like, this Ashley wasn't even on the list. He was like, oh.
But yeah, Ashley realizes that things are about to go down for her, so she goes and grabs some V, and injects it. And I asked the question, why hadn't she done this earlier?
Yeah.
And I feel like not necessarily like previous seasons.
Yeah.
But definitely this season, there are a couple of times where I'm just like, you just need to take some V, girl.
I think the thing is,
like once you start talking about running and hiding.
I think as long as she thought C would still be a part of the plan, C wasn't willing to risk her life for the same reason, also why she didn't run with A-Train. She's like, I don't want to risk my life if I think I can still be on the winning team as he sees it. And I think now that was the final draw when it became official. Oh, you are no longer a part of the winning team. That's what was like, okay. But up until then, even though her life was in danger, she's like, I can still spin this. I can still work in this framework, and I can still be on Homelander's side, so I'm okay. And I think that was the change. And that's what he had. Because I think V, it can be a death sentence. If you take it, like you said, you might just explode. So
you're not going to take it unless there's desperation.
You got to be really certain before you go injecting yourself.
Yeah, that's really like the bright thing. Like, you going to grab the wand?
Yeah.
If you're a musician, you're good. If you're not, you're dust.
You can grab that wand. Let's see what happens. But yeah, so while all this is going on, they've sent the president-elect into hiding, being protected by the boys. I love that as they're going into this base, MM was like, it could be anybody. The shifter could be in this room right now. And the camera pans out to Annie standing there. I'm like, well, you ain't wrong. Yeah.
So I should mention, Jim Beaver plays the president.
Yep.
He is an insanely massive character in Supernatural.
Yep.
And one of his taglines in Supernatural is "Idjit."
Idjit.
Which he dropped in this episode.
Nice.
And I'm like, yeah.
Nice.
Like, I mean, he's such a good actor that I didn't even realize in my head that was the one, the Bobby Singer from Supernatural.
Oh, really?
But until he said that, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's totally one of the most massive. Aside from Soldier Boy, he's like one of the most massive connections that you could make to Supernatural. But it's crazy how many Supernatural people showed up in this show.
No, not really.
I mean, it's not really because it's the same director.
The director, and he's kind of made a point of it. Like I said, there's talk, and we'll see when season 5 comes out, that he wants to get Jared up in here to also be in there. And now that we know Soldier Boy for sure is going to be a part of season 5, definitely means, all right, Soldier Boy will be there. Let's see what we can get Jared.
I wonder if Jared would play a major character, if he would just be like kind of an extra or something. If somebody gets killed by Soldier Boy or something, that would be funny.
It'd be interesting to see how it goes down.
They definitely took 2 different career paths, those actors, after Supernatural. One went into The Boys and to do Batman, and the other one went to do a Walker, Texas Ranger reboot.
That got canceled.
It got a couple of seasons.
It did. It did. A couple of seasons. So anyways, the boys, they're protecting the president, and Annie basically says the same line as the shifter, or the shifter says the same line as he said earlier, and Huey kind of finally connects the dots that, this ain't Annie. Yeah, I love Huey, and he's getting everyone's like, don't look at me. I was like, what? Why wouldn't you?
That was a funny season.
You and talking is not a weird thing, but seriously, don't look at me. And he's like, I love also when Annie comes up like, hey, I'm back there. Oh, hey, that was great. But the shifter also sniffs out that the jig is up and goes on the offense, and very quickly shows how the fight between humans and soups is just we don't even know how powerful this shifter is. I mean, Annie's able to. I'm not saying Annie's not strong. I'm just saying we know Annie is not on the same power level as Homelander for much. And I think Queen Maeve. I think Queen Maeve was stronger than Annie. I'm gonna go with that. Like, Queen Maeve got hit by a freaking bank fan and just took it. I don't think Annie could. I don't think Annie's dead, but I think Annie gets hit and knocked over by a bank fan. So that's what I'm saying. On the power level, Annie is definitely not cream of the crop, top. I don't know where she falls exactly because he did fight the deep and stuff, but still, this shifter also being weaker than Annie is not that high, and she takes out this room of guys like nothing, just killing all of them. I was upset with Kimiko.
Yeah, I want to know Kimiko's power level because Kimiko is not like invulnerable, obviously.
No,
but has the healing factor.
Yeah.
But I thought Kimiko was like soup strong.
She's definitely stronger than normal humans.
But like she gets destroyed by the shapeshifter so easily. And then at the end of the episode, she's being held back by one regular person.
No, she wasn't being held back by one regular person.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. It was.
What's his face? Who arguably some people are saying might be the next Homelander. So I'm like, that guy's in the higher.
You're right. But either way, she wasn't. Yeah. I feel like she could get away from him.
I don't know. Like I said, we don't have a definitive, but like I said, they've talked about Sam being as strong or in the same talking room as Soldier Boy and Homelander. So I'm like, she couldn't get away from Homelander holding her.
Yeah.
And so if he's anywhere near that level of strength, she ain't getting away from Sam. But anyways, no, she's definitely not as strong as most soups, but she's definitely stronger than any human.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen her throw around people like nothing. But still, I was just upset. Like, literally, she waits until every last Secret Service agent is dead to attack. Yeah. And I'm like, you might have a better chance of fighting her if she's being distracted by, 6 other, especially since you can't die to bullets, so you don't have to worry. They can keep shooting. Like, they may not be much help, but they're at least able to just help distract her while you're trying to fight her. Yeah. But no, wait until they're all dead and then get involved. I don't get the plan. I don't get why. I get that it's like protect the president. Like, well, the best way to protect the president is to stop the psychopathic shifter killer from getting to him. So you should probably get involved in that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know when the plan changed. Was it like they did the recording, which they used later, right, to take down the president through the news and stuff. But was the plan ever to kill him, or was that always the plan?
I think because he does say originally they hadn't planned to use Annie to kill him, is what she says. So I think the plan was to kill the president. I think that was
Gotcha.
I think the plan probably changed with Homelander's outing of Victoria Newman, and then I think she was still going to kill the president, and then she just couldn't because she got stopped by Annie when she showed up. Because I think that like she had Huey and them cornered. I don't see her just being like, all right, well, I got my evidence, I'm going to walk away now. I think she was going to murder all 3 of them. And
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the shapeshifter didn't kill Huey and MM.
What do you mean? She was about to when Annie showed up.
Yeah, but she like pushed him, threw him into the wall.
Threw him into the wall. Yeah.
And we saw the shifter throw other people in the wall in instant death.
Yeah. Just getting started. And, hero plot armor.
Yeah, true.
Gotta have one for season 5, Robert. But yeah, so now basically everything's out. Victoria's is a soup. The assassination attempt happens. Everybody's on high alert. Apparently they got the president-elect somewhere safe because he's not with the boys when they return back to their base. But Vicky calls Huey.
Yep.
And talks him into trying to save her. And all I got to say to that is no, not a chance. No way in hell. Not at all. Because she makes it very clear the only reason she's turning over to them is because she's not in control anymore. She was wholeheartedly willing to go along with Homelander's plan to take out everybody, to forcefully take over the country. I wouldn't say
she was wholehearted about it, but she was game, but she was reprehensive.
She was reprehensive, but that wasn't stopping her up until she realized she wasn't in control. Like that, to me, I'm just like, the only reason you are now, it's like people who, someone who cheats on their spouse, and then after they get found out, they'll admit to everything. It's like, the only reason you're admitting to everything is because they now know. Like, it's the same thing. The only reason you're willing to switch sides is because you realize you're not running the show. But if everything was still in effect and you were running the show, guess what? Victoria would have stayed with Homelander. So I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. There is no redemption arc for you, Victoria. I'm sorry for your daughter. Have a nice life. Hang up phone. But Huey is the bigger man or the better guy than me, I guess, and agrees that, we'll try and save you. And
I mean, that's what Huey does.
I know.
That's what Huey does. And by the way, you want the head explodey person on your side, if you can use that as an asset.
Yeah, I guess.
One of the only people that might be able to kill Homelander.
Maybe, but, Butcher was able to take her out pretty easily. I think she needs to have eyesight, so I guess that's why he covered her eyes so quickly.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, Frenchie and Kamiko kiss.
Yeah.
You hate it. I love it. We'll move on.
Frenchie just annoys me, It's just that simple. Frenchie just annoys me.
The whole Frenchie arc with Colin and stuff, like it amounted to nothing.
If Frenchie and Kimiko kissing leads us to a Frenchie Kimiko spinoff where they go after, then I'm okay with this.
Go after Shining Light or whatever. Yeah.
If we get that, then fine. I'm on board with Frenchie Kimiko.
I thought that's what we were gonna get for a minute there, where everyone was like scattering to the wind. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get like 3 spinoffs where each group of people that's like on the run.
Yeah. But anyway, so they bring in Newman. They're taking precautions though, but the dumbest precautions. They're like, Frenchie, have that gun ready, and then Frenchie is standing in clear sight of the room with the gun,
like right next to her.
I'm like, no. Frenchie is posted up in the lofters, hidden. She never knows he's even in the room at all. Not just standing there like, I'll shoot you. Like, not before she pops your head.
And also, the Secret Service agent is okay with her being in this room with a guy with a gun.
Well, I mean, depends on how you look at it. Since they don't know,
she shouldn't have just one Secret Service agent.
Yeah, she had 2.
She should have like 20.
Oh yeah, she should have. Yeah. But also, what I was gonna say is, for the Secret Service agent, it could have been also like they just literally watched her. Like they don't know about the virus unless Victoria told them. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But like I was gonna say, is like as for the Secret Service agent, this is the easiest job ever. She just got lasered by Homelander, was fine. Guy with gun, what he gonna do? So that might be another reason. There's like, I just watched this chick get shot by Homelander's lasers. I'm my job's easy now. I'm not even sweating it. But as they're working out a plan, Butcher shows up.
But not Butcher.
Yeah, I was about to say, but not Butcher, because Joe is in full control here.
Yeah. Jocher. I got nothing. That's a bad way. No, I'm going to retract that.
Yeah, we're just going to move forward. But yeah, Butcher is like, no deal. And we finally get to see Butcher's power, which is disgusting. Has a bunch of tentacles.
Yeah, it is really just weird.
Bust out of his chest. And he wraps up Victoria very quickly, blocking her eyes, which I think her power does rely on eyesight. And then in front of her daughter, which I'm like, that's going to make you an enemy and traumatize her for life, literally tears the woman in half.
Yeah. I mean, those are some strong tentacles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just was like, did not see this coming.
Yeah,
it's not on my bingo card.
Yeah, I need an explanation of like how this works, because the rabbit or whatever had the same tentacles. Like, does everybody who takes the weird temp V get these tentacles?
If they take too much or whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. It's some strange stuff, but all I know is not a power I want. No matter how strong those tentacles are.
And why does he need like the Joe character to control it? Why can't
I don't know. It might be a
psyche
psyche thing too. It might not even be that
weird.
He needs the Joe.
And it's like, is he not dying of super cancer anymore? Or?
I think he is. I think the Joe character is just, when he uses his power, he can keep him like healthier for a while. Like,
interesting.
He didn't start getting really sick again until he started not listening to Joe again. Like he was been sick this whole season, but the more he was aligned with Joe, he seemed to be doing better. And so now
I'm also wondering, like, if maybe, so like the Joe's like a memory of a person, right? I'm wondering if like the squid monster within, no, because he has the same desires. I'm just wondering if it's like a different entity within
I just
him.
think it's his dark side.
Okay.
I really think it's just his,
I know, it's weird. Well, I guess we'll learn more next season. Hopefully we'll learn more next season. Yeah.
But yeah, so Homelander takes the virus, which I think he's gonna somehow, I guess they're going the genocide route, but I feel like he needs a scientist. I don't know where he's gonna get a scientist who can make it into the genocide drug that he needs. But still, he takes the virus and heads off to parts unknown. The boys are on the lam for a very short amount of time, but still, they split up, go their separate ways. As you would expect, Huey and Annie, Frenchie and Kimiko, and then MM by himself.
Don't get on that plane.
Yeah, I was gonna say MM, the dumbest choice, going to an airport. I'm like, nope, no. He's taken out by the Love Sausage, which is interesting because that cements the Love Sausage as strictly a villain. In the comic book, the Love Sausage is actually one of the few soups the boys work with regularly.
Interesting.
And he actually helps, and actually it's Butcher who betrays him because he wants to kill all soups. In the end, where the Love Sausage is squarely on the boys' side. Like he's not part of the boys, but he's squarely on their side. So it's interesting that they made him a full villain in the show here.
Notably, same actor that played Santa Claus in our last Christmas special.
Yep. So crazy. Oh, so crazy. We see Annie and Huey taken by someone drops a boat on the road, and they capture Huey, but Starlight finally gets her powers back and also masters flying because he just rockets off, which is interesting. And then we get to see Kimiko and Frenchie taken out by Sam, and I can't remember the chick's name.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they
but more importantly, Frenchie mind controlled. So what are they going to do with Frenchie? Mind control.
That is true.
Why aren't they mind controlling Kimiko? That's also odd as well. But Kimiko talks. Says yells no. Several times.
I was literally while watching this, I was like, all right, questions for season 5. I'm going to ask Robert, do you think Kimiko talks before the series ends? And then she screams no, and I was like, well, that question's out. I was like, but yeah, and then we get a little catch up with Homelander and Sage.
Yep.
And Sage reveals that all of it, even the getting kicked out, part of the plan.
Yep.
See, had the blocks in place for all of this. Probably not the original plan, but like as smart as someone that smart would have. He had contingency plans.
Oh
he had plans within
Absolutely.
plans.
Yeah.
And so this all worked, and seems to win back Homelander's loyalty, or not loyalty. I don't know what reliance. I don't know what you call it. And makes it clear that this is just the beginning.
Yep, phase 2 is coming.
I really like Sage
because you got to take over the world. Yeah,
I really like Sage.
It's odd. I thought she was her master. I mean, we don't know what phase 2 is or what she's going to do in the next season. But I thought her master plan was going to be she was going to take over and rule.
Well, I think
which could still be
I think that's her thing. I think really, and especially like with this win that she just got with Homelander, like proving like, hey, I always had the big picture in mind. I think it's one of the things like she knows she can never kill Homelander or overpower him. So it's to make him, without him noticing it, make him into her lapdog in a sense. Like basically keep winning his trust and making it like, see, I always know. And so then he just always listens to her anyways. And he thinks he's in charge, but it's secretly. Because I think Sage, like I said, she's smart enough. Like, she knows I can't kill Homelander. I can't. And he can kill me whenever he wants. So instead, I'll become his ally. And because I'm smarter than him, I'll eventually convince him like everything that I want is what he wants anyways.
Yeah.
So he's going to do it. So yeah, I think that's her kind of end game.
Interesting. We get a mid-credits scene where Homelander finds out that Soldier Boy is alive and in cryo. And
that's it.
That's it. That's the end of it. It really did feel like not anything was resolved.
Oh, no, not at all. They're definitely setting this up to be just let's get into season 5, and that will be the resolution of everything.
Yeah. So you think will we get a Gen V season before the next season of the Boys? We'd have to, right?
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we have.
It'd be interesting to see how that all kind of plays together.
I really feel like Gen V. I mean, even Gen V season 1, not to the same extent I think season 2 will, but season 1 still played a little bit in the, just a story about the time in between season 3 and season 4.
Yeah.
It wasn't as connected, but they definitely did. Well, I do feel like season 2 of Gen V is going to be really connected to the Boys. And like I said, I feel like it's just going to lead. Season 2 of Gen V is going to lead into season 5 of the Boys. And I feel like the stories are going to merge and finish out in season 5. Because, very, very interesting stuff.
Then when do we get the movie?
But no,
release Training A Train.
Yes, I loved this. Love this ending, and while this season had its ups and downs, some weak writing, this ending definitely was just fantastic.
Yeah, perfect. And just like it gets me hyped for the next season. If it's allowed to happen. Depends on which way the real politics go.
Exactly.
As always, you can find us on our website, watchinitpod.com. There you can find links to our social media and to email us, watchinitpodcast@gmail.com. Donnell, what else should they do?
Well, we had talked. We talked about a guest episode, but Robert has informed me. Oh, he'll be back. So we're just gonna be doing our norm. It's gonna be doing the normal show, just me and Robert. Nothing special for you guys. I'm sorry, but yeah. So
it's special because it's the final season of Snowpiercer.
Exactly.
I'm not excited by that trailer. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I haven't even seen a trailer yet.
Oh, there's a trailer.
I'm going to check that out. But yeah, so get ready for that. Give us any rated reviews, 5 stars. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.